So no more. I am no longer going to be silent. I'm no longer going to keep secrets for toxic people, for narcissists. I'm so done. I'm so done.
How the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Apply today for my 6-month mentorship program. Space is limited. Hello, beautifuls. My name is Bo Yi, founder of IBelieveInLoveAgain.com. I am a survivor of child sexual abuse and rape, and I am a mentor for other survivors and current victims of child sexual abuse. So this video, I kind of just want to update you with my story, because I have shared a good chunk of my story with you, but as I've been making videos over the last year or so about child sexual abuse, and I've been, diving deep in my own recovery, I've been, I guess you can say, remembering other parts of my past where I was abused by other individuals, which might sound crazy to you, like how can you forget if you've been abused by other individuals? But for me, it was just like, well, my stepdad abused me for the longest amount of time, and all these other people, it was more like a one-time incident. So I just didn't, it was just like, okay, well, that really sucked, but it was like a one-time thing. But I don't want to minimize those experiences, because, like if someone abuses you sexually, that is a big deal. So I kind of wanted to share with you a little bit more about what I've gone through and kind of who my channel is for, okay? Because like I said, I've been making videos over the last year and just getting clearer and clearer on who I'm speaking to, okay? Because my audience is not just survivors and current victims of child sexual abuse. Other people also watch my channel, a lot of codependents, love addicts, survivors of narcissistic abuse, survivors of sociopath abuse. So there's a lot of different people who watch my videos, men, women, teens. I've had teenage girls message me telling me that they're still being abused right now by their dads, what have you. And so I'm in communication with a lot of people. I know a lot of your stories, and I thank you for trusting me, and because a lot of you guys tell me, Bo Yi, you're the first person I've ever told my story to, and like that's a huge honor for me to know that. I mean, because we've never even met in person. Like you've just been watching me through a video, right, through a screen, and just through that, so I just feel really amazed by that. And because you guys have trusted me so much, I just feel like, I know it's okay to share more on my channel. And I know it's also a risk, because not everyone who comes onto my channel is perhaps a survivor. We all know about trolls that go on different videos and say mean things, and I get those sometimes. But with the influx of messages I get from you, and all the love and support I get from you, and the vulnerable stories you guys share with me, like all of that outweighs the stupid comments I get from time to time. Like it's worth the risk. So today I just want to start with this quote. My girlfriend Rachel gave me this book as a gift this morning. It's called Dangerous Relationships: How to Identify and Respond to the 7 Warning Signs of a Troubled Relationship by Dr. Noelle Nelson. So I already read like half the book today. It's really, really good. I recommend it for any of you who've gone through abuse of any sort. I really recommend this, okay? So there's this great quote here. It says, silence and secrecy are the 2 biggest reasons abuse flourishes. I'm going to read that again. Silence and secrecy are the 2 biggest reasons abuse flourishes. And that is why a long time ago I decided that I wanted to make a YouTube channel where I would share with you, my story and share with you tools to help you guys heal. I know that for me, that's why the abuse that I endured continued on for so long because I stayed silent. I listened to my abuser. He told me not to tell anyone for a myriad of reasons. I can go into kind of the psychology of why a victim stays with their abuser for so long sometimes. I'll get into all that in other videos. But anyway, this is more of an introduction video to people who are new to my channel. Because of me staying silent, me lying for my abuser for so long, that's why it continued to happen for so long. And then even after I finally told, and he eventually went to prison, and then a few years ago he died in prison. Even after that point, I continued to attract narcissistic boyfriends. I was in very abusive relationships with guys, and those lasted way longer than they had to as well. Why? Because I chose to stay silent. I chose to not tell my family and friends what really was happening in my relationship with these men, because I was embarrassed, or I thought maybe I was the one who was at fault, and I just didn't want to, and a lot of times the boyfriends, the boyfriends I had, they all told me not to say anything to anyone because, well, they're narcissists. Like, they know, narcissists like to isolate us. And so I would just kind of go along with what they would say out of respect for them, So, no more. I am no longer going to be silent. I'm no longer going to keep secrets for toxic people, for narcissists. I'm so done. I'm so done. And that's why I'm finally coming out, being bold, and I'm going to start sharing more than I ever have before. Every 6 months to a year, I always come out with the video where I say I'm going to share even more than I did before, and I always do. I go through these seasons, these phases where I get stronger, I get bolder every season or whatnot. For me, I feel like, I'm just so tired of, I'm really, really tired of seeing abuse prolong in my life or other people's lives. It's really, really frustrating. And what I see time and time again is when I decided to speak up, to break the silence, then I'm able to, first of all, inform my loved ones around me that, hey, something's wrong, and then I get the help I need because the secret's out, and then I can start to heal. But when I stay secretive about things that have been hurting me or abusive relationships I've been in, then they continue on and no one knows. Yeah, so okay, I just kind of want to go over some more details of what I've gone through. So, like I already mentioned, I was molested and raped by my stepdad for 8 years. He was a serial pedophile, by the way, if you didn't know. So I wasn't his only victim. He had also molested his own daughter, who's my stepsister, and we're in touch again. We are really close, and because of our communication, it's actually crazy because she watched my YouTube video where I told my story of being molested for 8 years. She watched it, and then later on we got connected on Facebook, and then we called each other, and she said, Bo Yi, well, he was her dad, but he was my stepdad, but she said, he married not two women before your mom. He had married 5 other women, so your mom was the 6th wife. So my stepfather, my goodness, he just, this was his thing. He just would marry women for their daughters, and divorce them and then marry another woman, and you get the picture. So by the time he got to my family, he just really knew how to brainwash families. He knew how to brainwash the whole court system. He was able to adopt me and my brother. He was able to convince the courts to take the parental rights away from my mom. He was a master manipulator. He was quite incredible. He was able to even brainwash psychologists to side with him and go against my mom. I mean, he was really good at what he did. Anyway, after that, I had a whole bunch of narcissistic boyfriends, but in my 20s, throughout all my 20s, I've always had a boyfriend, and most of them were quite narcissistic. I believe one was even a sociopath. I'll get into more of that later. And that's just the nature of things. When you've endured, really intense child sexual abuse for so many years, it just really messes up your brain. It literally rewires your brain to, be familiar and comfortable with abuse. And it's not like I want to be abused, but all these relationships I got into, like, they were all awesome, so loving in the beginning. There were signs, but I was love bombed, so I couldn't see clearly. And then before I know it, I'm being criticized, I'm being put down, I'm being gaslit, and I'm just like confused, and I continue to allow abuse to happen, and then it gets worse over time. So I'll go into videos that kind of explain narcissistic abuse. I think this is very important for all of you watching, because we tend to continue attracting abusive situations even after the original abuse has stopped, and that's no fun. we want the abuse to stop so that we can heal and move forward. That's very important. So let's see. So other than the boyfriends in my 20s, those were like some of the most painful times in my life. But throughout all those years, I also had those kind of individual events. So I had an experience where my sexual boundaries were crossed by a family friend. I've had experiences with some strangers who crossed my sexual boundaries. There was this taxi cab driver in New York who, oh my gosh, did something so inappropriate. I can make a video on that later. A spiritual leader at an ashram. He was, so annoying. I hate it when people use like spirituality or the Bible to manipulate. I feel like that's like the worst. That's like the worst, and these people would definitely get punished because God knows their hearts. But yeah, a spiritual leader was very manipulative towards me as well. He tried to move me to India and tried to convince me that we would definitely be celibate out there in India, because we had agreed to having a spiritual union where we would be celibate for life. And I was thinking, well, why do we have to move all the way to India to be celibate? Why can't we just stay here? But anyway, obviously, he was a narcissist and a manipulator. I can get into all that as well in another video. A couple of friends of mine who crossed my sexual boundaries, a naturopathic doctor, and a male therapist. And I'm sure there's other incidences, like as I heal and remember certain things, I'll be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I left that out. But as of now, these are some of the experiences that I definitely remember. And for those of you who are, don't really understand, child sexual abuse, might think, okay, well, how is it that you are now remembering these things? Well, that's just how it is. Like when you start to heal, you remember incidences that your brain, in order to help protect you so that you could survive those incidences, kind of like tuck those away so that you could like move on with your life, because they're traumatic. But anyway, for me, I just felt like this was my calling, and so that's why I'm here. And I feel called to just share a lot with you all, because not a lot of people are doing this nowadays. And so what did I say here? I said, I won't lie. I mentioned this. I won't lie. The healing journey is excruciatingly painful, but it is worth it. It's worth it because no matter what you've been through, I feel like you really can rewire your brain so that you stop repeating old patterns, which, these old patterns of yours aren't your fault. Like this was how you were wired, growing up as a child or a teen and then an adult, like depending on when you were abused, like it really changed the structure of your brain. And so it takes time to rewire your brain and have new patterns, develop new habits, new patterns. It's possible. And then when that happens, you will attract different kinds of people in your life, people who are loving, who are respectful, who, will surely respect your boundaries. You're going to attract healthier people in your life. You're going to be a healthier person. You're going to respect other people's boundaries. You're going to, have a sense of what is healthy and what isn't. You're not going to tolerate abuse, because it's just going to really make you sick. Like, okay, for people who have not gone through healing, like it's familiar, it's comfortable, it even feels like love sometimes, and that's confusing and that's not healthy. So anyway, when you use tools and you lean on God to help heal you, I believe you can absolutely heal and you can move forward and have a new life. You can have a new life with God, and that's why I'm here. This is what I want to share with all of you. And I'm still healing. So, while I heal and share with you, it's kind of a two-way thing. It helps you and it also helps me. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that God is our ultimate healer. So I'll end with that. I love you all. And if there's anything you want me to expand on, like any parts of those, any part of my story you want me to expand on, just comment below, let me know, and I will consider expanding on those areas. All right. I love you all. God bless. Take care.
Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling.